La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's always a pleasure having you here on the show Journey to Islam. In this program, I get to interrogate people to find out why they have decided to make certain decisions. In this particular case, I'm talking about the decision to embrace Islam Ahmadiyya, even though there are a lot more other sects of Islam out there. Today on the show, I have Alhaj Hakeem also Adene, born on the 7th of September 1936 in Obo, Okwawu, in the eastern region of Ghana, previously known as John Ofosu Adene. He converted to Islam Ahmadiyya in the year 1962. I found out from him why he has decided to make such a turn in the religious front. Alhaji, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, could you please tell me a bit about your life, your earlier life, and just before your conversion to Islam Ahmadiyya?
Yes, thank you. Earlier life, I was a Christian by name John Kojo Ofosu Adene.
John Kojo Ofosu Adene.
Then I attended the formal school, that's a Roman Catholic. So as time went on, really there are certain norms. They were taught that blood of Jesus saved us and all that. Even there was a time there was some sort of function. So we say we are going to meet Jesus Christ after his death. By then I was about 12 years of age. I followed these men and went to the cemetery. I saw them coming back. I didn't see Jesus Christ. So since then, I was convinced that what these people are saying, I'm not sure is true. So really, when I came back, by and by, I continued the school until such a time that we grew up. Then I decided to come to Accra to find some job to do. So when I came, really, I was having a friend by the name of Gatti. Gatti.
Right.
Who was working with CFO company. So when I was at the same office with this man, when time comes, you go and pray and come back. You go and pray and come back. In the afternoon, we go and pray. 4 o'clock, we go and pray, then we close. Then one day, he invited me that there will be a preaching. But then we were all at Hakeem Odan.
Pardon? Come again.
We were all at Hakeem Odan.
You were at Hakeem Odan?
Yes. So they said they are going to preaching. So he invited me to go and listen to the preaching. When I went, I saw some gentlemen with suit and all that, and they have their hats. So I was saying, but Muslims, they are not like this. So by and by, I went with him to the old town, Hakeem Odan. Then they started preaching. What I remember was Ahmed K. Owusu was among, and Yusuf Edusei, that also was among, and some elders. They started preaching. So by and by, we were given some sheets, paper. When they read the Quran, they asked us to quote the the number.
All right.
When they read Bible, they give us the quotation, we write it down. Later on, when they close, we went home. Then when you read through the Bible, because I don't know much about Quran, though we can read the English version.
The English translation.
So by and by, what they were saying is correct, that Jesus Christ doesn't die for us. So in actual fact, I became convinced.
So at that point, you said then you realized that Jesus Christ did not die for us. So was that the only reason you considered before converting to Islam Ahmadiyya?
No, not that only. That is not the only reason. Then later on, they quoted also so many verses from the whole Bible, which stated that how to perform ablution and how we take our shoes and all that from the Bible. So I became really convinced. So during the preaching, I asked my friend Eblagati, because there were certain conditions like fasting, and there. So anytime I would sleep, I have to be thinking of all those things if I can go about it. Because sometimes you fast. Sometimes there are certain things that you have not to do. So I thought it wisely as well. How I've seen that after all you have to worship your God. But once I've seen that, that's the good method, the brushing and even the carpet. So we have been giving respect to a carpet. But when you want to enter a church, you go with your shoes. And I found that what they are saying is correct. Because you can't respect carpet. And when you are going to pray, there were quotations they quoted that Noah took his shoes and all that, and say, oh, I could say that that's the correct way. So one day, I was in my room when that young man, Gatti, was going to church, evening salat. So he passed by and then he called me that he's going to come. Immediately, I requested him to wait for me because I want to join them. And he took me to the mosque and we prayed. We prayed for some time. Then later on, my name was given to me. Some names were mentioned. So I selected Hakeem.
All right. Before that, you said he was going to the mosque for the dusk prayer.
Yes.
And then he invited you, you came along. And at that point,
yes,
how did you do the prayer? You said you went with him.
yes,
You did the prayer
he told
together.
me whatever they would do,
Yes.
I have to follow.
All right.
So
Without necessarily knowing the recitations,
That's
the
right.
various levels of the prayer.
That's it.
All right. So at that point, how strong was the faith?
Really, my faith was really strong.
Because that was at the point between you converting
Yes.
to Islam Ahmadiyya
Yes.
and then Christianity.
Christianity, what I know is even 1 week before you attend Sunday prayers, and even sometimes you say you haven't got time. So even if you don't have time, that means one Sunday you will never go to church. But Islam, in the morning you have to remember your God. Afternoon you have to do same. Evening you have to do same. So really my iman was very, 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 very strong.
All right. So could you relay that particular incident that took you into Islam Ahmadiyya? That particular incident.
Yes.
Yes.
As I've said,
Yeah.
they told us Jesus Christ, the blood of Christ, it has saved us. That is what it has saved us. And Islam, they say no, the blood of Christ doesn't save. It's only the words. When you believe, he's saying, don't thief, don't do this, don't do that. That rather will save you. And I found that what they are saying is correct. Because you say, don't steal. So the words, but the blood can never save.
Yeah. So you were walking up to your friend and saying he should take you along. What happens? What happened thereafter? You said you met him and then you said he should take you to the mission or something.
He normally passed at the back of my house where I stay.
Yeah.
So when he was going, then he just told me he's going and come back. So I told him to wait for me because I've thought it wisely. I have to join the Ahmadiyya. So he waited for me. I put on my attire. Then I follow him to the mosque. Anytime he's going, he passes at the back of my house. So since then, anytime he's going, he will come and call me, and then we go together.
So at that point, you just became an Ahmadi Muslim. Was there any rituals or that were performed before you were accepted as an Ahmadi Muslim?
Oh, no. It's only, as I said, they mention certain names. And really, I choose one, which the Hakeem, Abdul Hakeem. So thereafter, I requested for certain books. And I requested for certain prayer books, which were provided from Kumasi. I write for it. So it was provided. So I was studying the prayer book from time to time. So later on, I started also praying.
Were you the first in your family to become an Ahmadi Muslim?
Yes, please.
So, being the first, how was life like as far as the execution of your religious duties were concerned? Did you have that free chance to do it? Were
Yes.
you still living with them?
Because even my father at that time told me, really, nobody shows or tells where the God is. We have certain proverb. So being me. So he accepted that once I'm worshiping God, he will never disturb me. So always I'll say my prayers. So nobody disturbed me. But then my parents were all alive, and they were very pleased with it. There are sometimes I used to ask them certain questions. That even though the blood, if it was collected into a basin, and the whole eastern region, everybody put his hand, finger high inside, it will finish. But it has been accepted, blood has saved us. And as I can see, we were having a certain preacher. It's also called Yusuf preacher. After these people have gone, he also came in. I was staying with him, but then I was not married. I was a single. So when he comes from Kumasi, I stay with him. So I learned much from that man, Yusuf preacher.
All right. So how close are you with God now? Yes, as far as the practice of your religion is concerned, can you say that you are close to God?
Yes, I'm close to God.
Why?
I'm close to God. Because I remember when I decided to go to Mecca, but then our late Amir gave me certain instances that when you go, don't ask for anything, that ask God to listen to your prayers always. But when I say my prayer, anything I want, really, when I pray for it, I used to get it. So I'm sure I'm close to God.
You say you used to get it. Don't you get it now? Currently, doesn't it still happen?
It happens because when I pray, I say, when I pray, you should listen to my prayers. And it's true. Anytime I pray, if I want something, I pray, I get it. So I'm 100% sure that I'm close to God.
Yeah, there is this misconception that Ahmadi Muslims don't perform Hajj. But you just mentioned when you were going to Mecca.
Yes.
Was that for the performance of the Hajj?
The performance of Hajj.
So what do you say to that?
I didn't experience any hardship when I was going. When we went, we were about 6 people in one room. But any argument that comes, I remember I used to solve it.
Were you all Ahmadis?
No, not Ahmadis were also. Were only 2 Ahmadis, and the rest were no Ahmadis. But any argument that comes here, I'm able to solve it.
Yeah, has your conversion to Islam Ahmadiyya given you any positive change in your life?
Yes, as I say, give me a positive change in my life.
By positive change, how do you mean?
Well, that positive change is, as I've said, formerly my faith was not complete. But when I joined Ahmadiyya and daily prayers, 5 daily prayers, it has helped me a lot. So even there are some boys I stay with in the same house. They have all turned to Ahmadis. My sister has turned to Ahmadis. My brothers, most of them have turned to Ahmadis. My children, most of them have turned to Ahmadis.
So, if I may ask, have you ever had regrets at a certain point, ever since you converted to Islam Ahmadiyya?
Yes.
Asking yourself why, or showing any regret for joining Islam Ahmadiyya?
Never.
So it has always been smooth all throughout.
So but whereby,
yes,
if there's a little bit trouble, I pray. And I know that sometimes through the preaching, if you pray and God doesn't accept, you have to accept it. It's Alhamdulillah. Maybe one evening He gives you the what you want, it will jeopardize your plans and whatnot. So a sincere hope, really, it has helped me a lot.
Don't you regret sometimes when it comes to your mind that you belong to a religious sect that has been discriminated against?
No.
Here is the case, the world over, people despise Islam, the entirety of Islam, saying that Islams are terrorists, they are the ISIS and all that. All the negative things propagated in the system these days, the media has always pointed out to Muslims being the minds behind these things. And within Islam, they also say, Ahmadis are not of us. They are not part of us as Muslims. This alone, doesn't it give you regrets sometimes?
Well, it's a worry because we have been hearing from the words of ISIS and whatnot. As I'm talking to you now, some of my children are even in America. Sometimes they complain a lot, but I told them they are not Ahmadiyyas. Quite recently, even though I learned certain people came from one of these countries, and they said they are Ahmadis here in Ghana.
Those Pakistani people.
And they're the Pakistani people. Our chairman, our secretary, came and explained that no, it's never so. Because now, as I'm sitting here, even I have my number, 104016. as an Ahmadi. So if they are Ahmadi, it's simple to identify. They are the Ahmadis.
So,
because our aim.
Yeah. Do you have any intentions of leaving the faith?
No, I don't have any intention at all.
So if there is that particular reason why you should stay in Ahmadiyya forever, what would it be?
If I have to stay in Ahmadiyya
to
forever.
state one reason why you would want to be an Ahmadi Muslim forever, that particular one, what would it be?
Really, they are truth. Most of they are truth. I know Uzul, because of Uzul, when you say do it, we all abide by it, and we do it. So I don't think since then, as I said, I've been to Mecca before, I've been to Qadian before, and I've seen
in India.
In India. So I know how it is. So really, I like it, and I think I have to stick to it. Really.
Yes. In your submission, you made mention of the word huzur.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Pardon me.
Huzur.
Yes.
What does it mean? Who is that? You refer to a personality as huzur. But if he says this, you are talking about obedience. So huzur, who is he?
Huzur is a Ahmadiyya leader, spiritual leader.
The spiritual leader. All right. At what level? The national level or the international level?
International level. Because whenever he tells you do it, you know it's perfect. So I'm pleased with it.
And then if there is any reason that you should stay, this is one of them. So now do you have your last words for us? Do you have any last words?
My last word is...
hundreds of thousands of people that might be listening to you. If there are any words you should tell them.
What I will tell them is...
It does not matter whether they could be Ahmadis, Christians, people who don't even know God at all. What last words do you have?
Well,
hundreds of thousands of our audience out there.
I would say really have to, try and join Ahmadiyya. You have to try and embrace Ahmadiyya. I think it will help everybody, and we shall have our peace. The whole world will have our peace.
So do you think that if people get converted to Islam Ahmadiyya, peace will reign? Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I believe. Because if everybody join Ahmadiyya, then they listen to Uzul, I think things will go on systematically.
Yes. The bell is gone. No more time for us to continue to run our program. And Alhaj Hakeem of Adene has been my guest today on the show Journey to Islam. And then he thinks that if a lot more other people decide to embrace Islam Ahmadiyya, then at the end of the day, peace, he thinks, will prevail, because Islam Ahmadiyya is about obedience and submission. He has also made mention that prayer is one such thing he believes in, and then because of that, he has always had his way through some of the problems he thought have always faced him. Until next time, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you.
Rasulullah